Hello, you wonderful, beautiful people. Welcome back to a new video. Let's recap on my travel through Sweden and what wonderful VANventures we had. So I went on a trip from the 3rd of June to the 28th of July, which comes down to 56 days of travel. In total, we roamed 7,005 kilometers. Not all of this we drove because this is what Polar Steps picked up on, so lots of it is also walking, but the majority of it is driving. The place where I live in the Netherlands is -3 meters below sea level, and the highest that we reached in this travel was at Flatruet, which is at 947 meters above sea level, so that's very cool. We went as far north in the country as Wildernesswegen, and then when we did that, we turned back around and went more south again. Here's a print screen of my Polar Steps so you can see sort of what route we took. And the route didn't really make any sense. I didn't plan anything ahead because initially I went to Sweden to go and see if the country would be something for us to live in, to have a house there. And when I got there, I soon discovered that I couldn't plan viewings at houses. I had to go to open houses that were already there, that were already booked. So that made me have to go all over the place. And as soon as the summer holiday in Sweden started, I decided to let go of that because the housing market got flooded and it was too busy and it was just overwhelming. So I decided to just go and have a look around in Sweden and see what else there was to discover. It was fun getting to know the country and getting to know all of the inhabitants that live there, and also some of them that could be potentially dangerous. Okay, so I worry a lot about snakes with the dogs, because if your dog gets bit by a viper snake, you have about 2 hours to get to a vet, but they are tiny and they were just smelling something right over there. And I was like, why are all three of them interested? And then I pulled them aside. I'm like, what is it? And I got such a scare because there was a viper snake on the road and they were all three of them smelling it. But it got run over, so it was dead. But imagine my shock when I pulled them to the side and I see a viper snake. Anyway, the poor thing is no longer with us. But yeah, my dogs have 0 survival skills with snakes because we've never encountered those. My dogs aren't really used to things that can hurt them because I don't take them around like things that can really hurt them. Anyway, yeah. I know that if they see a snake, they think it's interesting. So I think that time that we spent in Sweden was the perfect time to travel through Sweden. When we got there, it was still a little bit chilly, a bit cold, and then the summer just started and it was beautiful. There were wildflowers everywhere. We got to experience midsummer. I'm waking up to snoring horses next to the van and it's so cute. Good morning, beautiful. Hi. For midsummer, I made this beautiful flower wreath that I wore on my head. I wasn't sure if it was too big, but I really loved it. And I'm so sad that this isn't a thing that is just socially accepted to wear every day because it's so beautiful. I'd love to make one every day. the days were beautiful and the berries were starting to grow, and I was very happy to be able to experience midsummer in a town. And I love that it's the celebration of the longest day of the year and fertility, and it's just so cute. And it was kind of overwhelming seeing all these people come together and be so joyful and so wonderful. And if you're ever going to Sweden, I really recommend going to see midsummer somewhere. Now, when I went to Sweden, I was very surprised with, for one, how big, how humongous this country is, but also about the how versatile the nature is. Because lots of people had told me, oh, you're going to Sweden, it's just going to be trees, forest and trees, forest and trees. And I thought, oh, I'll enjoy that. I love that. But also it kind of felt like, why don't people like forest and trees? But I don't know where they went. But I've seen so many things on my travel. We've been to the coastline, these beautiful little fishermen villages. We've been in the woods, but we've also been at Flatruet, where it's like more... It's very, I don't even know, it's like there's nothing growing there because it's mostly snowed on. And then we went to Öland, which also has very different nature parts. Like in one island, there's lots of different nature. There's lots of animals around. We've seen so many animals. And like, I was so confused with people telling me that it was just going to be forest, because that was not at all true. And I haven't even seen all of it. I haven't been up north in Lapland because I was too worried about all the bugs. I was getting overwhelmed by all the bugs. And we didn't have that much time to do so. But in my opinion, Sweden has so many different aspects in nature. And everywhere you go, it's different. And I really, really, really love that. Some of it is more flat, some of it is more hilly, some of it is higher, some of it is lower. And yeah, but one thing I can say about mostly all of it is that it's super beautiful. Some parts were more like the Netherlands. It was more cultivated ground, which still was beautiful, but I preferred more rough nature. And here we encountered some snow. Sweden is just wonderful. It's such a beautiful place to travel. And yeah, I can't wait to get back there. Okay, so I got two really cool things. So I got this one, which is from a female reindeer. This is adorable. That's so cool. There's like a table piece for burning candles. I think she's gonna love that. Another thing is that we had, because the country has high and low points, that it has so many different temperatures. It also has 3 temperatures within the land, like 3, how do you say that? I don't know, like the seasons in the land, climates in the land. But also we had like 4 degrees, I think, or maybe 3 degrees, which was super cold, up to, I believe, 32 one day, 32 degrees, which was super hot. I was struggling with that. I'd rather have it colder than super hot. But it's just, I'm just mesmerized by the beauty and everything about this country. We did visit some hotspots which were very beautiful, but they're always a little bit too busy for my liking. And these are little critters that I did not like. The little flies living in the grass that bit my leg and bit the dogs. I'm still not really sure what they are. They were midges? I don't know, because I still haven't really figured out what they were. The Björnvegen we visited, and then we had the freaking red ants that I encountered everywhere. They are everywhere. These are not my favorites, but maybe in different seasons they're not that they're not that present. I was just walking and thinking like, oh, it's such beautiful weather. The wind is messing with my eyes though. And then I thought, oh, I feel some rain. Yeah, let's go back. Like, who is she? Who invited her? Like, where did she come from? I didn't even, the wind is just, the clouds just go so fast. I didn't even see her coming. Like, who invited you? I didn't. I just found like 60 reindeer in one field. We found them. We went everywhere and we're like the most southern part almost, and here they are. Also, after a while in Sweden, I kind of got more relaxed and I was more comfortable with the budget still being what it was, that I decided to go do some activities. So we went horseback riding. Oh, I hadn't been on horses for so long, but it really sparked my joy of being around and on top of a horse again. That was so much fun. Experiencing the nature on the back of a horse is just a whole new experience in itself. And then we went on with this Land Rover inland and to go and spot some wildlife, which was also really nice. I'd never seen a baby fox before. getting to the end of our trip, we went on to Öland, and Öland is so beautiful. It was so spectacular, and I haven't even seen all of it. It was super busy when we visited because it was like high season, and I wonder what it would be like in lower seasons. But this was magical. And again, we went horseback riding, which on Icelandic horses this time, which is my all-time favorite. And yeah, I just really had a blast here too. And yeah, there's just so much more to explore. I want to go back there. It's safe to say that I really enjoyed Sweden. People kept asking, are you still going to look at houses? And I'm not really sure about the house situation. I have to make a whole new video about that. And I think it's safe to say that it is necessary for me to go visit in more seasons. Because before I went to Sweden, I thought, okay, if I get a house in Sweden, I'll be there in summers and then I'll travel in winters because the winters get cold. But now I'm more thinking like in summer there's lots of bugs around. It's kind of busy with tourists, so maybe I would even more appreciate it being the other way around, being there in wintertime, to have like a space where you can just experience winter like really cold, just like have like almost hibernate inside of your little house, do the things that you need to do, and then in summer you can travel around again. But I'll make a new video about that because there's so much more to say about it. These little windmills on Öland were so adorable. Now I really got relaxed on this trip, and even though I got overwhelmed and I had road anxiety and so many things it's not really easy for me to travel. Lots of things are going on with my neurospiciness, but it worked out and I really had a blast, even though I was worried about bugs all the time too. I had a blast and it was wonderful, and I definitely want to go back there. At the same time, I'm also thinking about ways how I can keep traveling, because now I come home to the Netherlands every time to work again, and then I make a budget and then I leave again. It's not really working for me being back in the Netherlands where everything is so crowded and there's so less space and people are everywhere, and I have to work I don't work hard. It's just a little overwhelming for me, all the things that I do, that I would really like to be able to keep traveling. So these are things my mind is kind of busy with these days. I also got my creative side out and about again. I was starting to do some watercoloring again. Some people asked if I can do like little bookmarks and sell them. I'm gonna think about it. Could be a good idea. But also, I've picked up other arts and crafts that you'll be seeing in new videos, which I'm really enjoying. So maybe there's something there that I can do and maybe sell some things to keep my budget growing for new travels. I'll make another video about the houses that I looked at and what my view on that is now in another video. Not the next video, but videos after that. I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I will see you in the next one. And in the meantime, don't forget to say yes to new VANventures.